Welcome to the very first video here at Maximize Your Money, the channel dedicated to teaching you tips and tricks to secure your financial future. And today, we're talking about smart power strips. So let's dig in. So first things first, what is a power saving energy strip? Does it pull static out of the carpet and help supplement power usage? Does it tell devices that are plugged in to chill out, they don't need to use that much power? Or does it pull electricity at night when rates are cheaper? So it's none of those, but they would be pretty cool. An energy-saving power strip is actually very simple, but powerful when used correctly. Now really what one of these smart energy strips does is breaks your outlets into three categories. Now normally if you just buy a regular old power strip, and let's say it has 6 outlets on it, well that's 6 outlets that get power that's always available. So with these power strips, everything starts with the master. This is the controller of these energy-saving outlets. So what happens is when you turn something on that's plugged into this, it says these will be on. When you turn this off, these will be off. So for an example, let's say you plug your TV into this. And down here you have your Xbox, you have your sound system, and then insert some other things that you might have at your entertainment system, things that you would be plugging in. When you turn your TV on, it says, yep, these are on. When you turn this off, it says, I am no longer going to give power to these. And the trick is, and what you got to think about is, well, when I turn my TV off, am I going to be using my Xbox? Do I need the sound system? Do I need the other things plugged in there? Well, you probably don't. And that's where the magic happens. And we'll get a little bit more into why that works. But the other category is these always on. Now, there are going to be some situations where you know that when you turn the main device off, if it's your TV, you have a lot of things that can be turned off. They're not going to need power. But you might have a device or two that you're like, I don't want that to turn off. It needs to stay on for whatever reason. And that's what the always ons are for. So that's how the smart energy strip layout works and how you plug in things appropriately to maximize its benefits. Now I don't plan to be that YouTube guy that says this all the time, but considering this is a brand new channel and I need a little help getting started, if you could like the video, comment below, or do anything else to help the video, I'd appreciate it. That's it, I'm done. Thank you. So now that you understand the basics about how one of these smart strips works, how do you properly use it and maximize your money? Well, the magic, if you want to call it that, is with these green outlets, the energy saver outlets. A lot of devices, and you may not realize this, but do something called vampire drain, meaning that even when you're not using them, so you assume that no power is being used, they're actually pulling power. So you want to be able to find situations in your house where you have a lot of devices. Think entertainment centers, offices, things that can be turned off when you're not using them. So with your entertainment system, once the TV's off, again, those examples of the sound system, the Xbox, the PlayStation, whatever else you might have plugged in, you're not going to use those other things. In an office, your monitors, your laptop. So by being able to cut that power, you're just going to save money without really doing anything special. So the long and short of it is, try to think of places in your house where you have a lot of devices plugged in, and once one's turned off, you know you're not going to need others. So now we understand the basics of these devices and how to properly use them. But what good would a review like this be if I hadn't tested these and found out if you can actually save money? Well, lucky for you, I did. So what I did is I plugged in a device that allows me to monitor power usage over time. And I tested for 59 days with a regular power strip. I then tested for another 59 days with a smart strip. Yes, I'm dedicated. Now I did this test in 2 locations. My living room with my TV and Xbox, and then in my office where I had a couple computers and some monitors. And the results were impressive. In my living room, where I only had one device connected to the energy-saving outlet, my usage went from 115 kilowatts to 100, which translated to almost $2 saved. And while I know $2 doesn't seem like a lot, in most cases you're probably going to have 3 or 4 devices plugged into the energy-saving outlets, meaning that you could save quite a bit of money every month. Now in my office, I actually made a change when I switched over to the energy-saving outlet by plugging in more devices, which means more power used. So I was hoping that I would be able to show that the power saving strip helped minimize the impact and that I only showed a small gain in electricity usage. But after comparing the before and after, I still went down in usage even though I had more devices plugged in, and by all means I should have been drawing more power. And the results went from 19 kilowatts down to 18.5. So while it's not a huge cost savings, if I hadn't plugged in more devices, I would have seen a pretty big increase. So that is impressive on its own. But the most remarkable information actually came after I had concluded my test. I purchased a new monitor and sound system for my video editing, and they use quite a bit of power. On average about 120 to 135 watts when I'm editing videos. And without my smart strip, it continued to pull those numbers all day long. But with it, once I put my monitor to sleep and it turns off those other outlets, it goes down to about 2.8 watts, basically pulling almost no power. Thinking bigger picture, without the smart strip, that would add up to about 90 kilowatt hours of electricity, resulting in a charge of roughly $10.80 a month. But let's say I do about 3 hours of editing every day, and I successfully use my power strip to shut down those other outlets by putting my computer to sleep when I'm done working. Well, my usage goes down to roughly 11.25 kilowatt hours. So that's 90 down to 11, resulting in a monthly charge of $3.60 for a $7.20 saving every month. Find a couple situations like this in your house, and you could be saving $10 to $20 a month for doing basically nothing. I don't know about you, but I'll take an extra $20 in my pocket every month. So now we know these power strips can save you some money when used correctly, but they're not for everybody or every situation. So who do I think they're for? Well, I see two situations. And there's two different things you have to think about when it comes to saving money. When you have a location that has a lot of devices that are plugged in, and a lot of them can be turned off when you know that a controller item, like a TV, is not being used. And second is where you might have any devices that are not protected by a surge protector. A lot of things can happen. Lightning strikes, power grid failures, power grid surges, anything that might cause something to happen where electricity comes to your house in a way that can damage your devices. And if you don't have a surge protector, well, you can lose devices that cost a lot of money and will cost you a lot of money to replace. So I would consider getting this for the electricity savings, but also if you're not using a surge protector today. They're not that expensive compared to a regular surge protector or power strip. So why not get the nice one that gives you some extra bells and whistles and just protects your devices and saves you from that unfortunate expense you might have if you blew one out. Now, do I recommend these smart power strips? Absolutely. One of the things that we're going to talk a lot about on this channel is making small decisions that once you accumulate all these smart decisions, they come together to save you a lot of money. Now, is this device going to make you rich overnight? No. It's going to save you little bits of money over time, but it will pay itself off, and that's extra money in your pocket, money that you can use for other things. And again, once you accumulate that with other smart decisions, well, before long, you're saving a lot of money that you wouldn't have been otherwise by just making some very, very simple changes. So with that being said, based on the situations we've talked about, don't do it if it doesn't work or if it's not going to save you money. We've covered this and when it does work. But when it does, yes, I highly recommend this, and I think it could be a great decision for you. But before we wrap this up, I want to make sure we're on the same page on one thing. The way these work is there's that control device. We've talked about it. Once that turns off, then it turns off those smart outlets, and that's where you save money. Now, if you get lazy and you don't turn off that device and you let it sit there and run, so with your TV, you say, I'll be back in a couple minutes. You leave it on, you forget, and you leave it on for 2 hours. You're not saving any money. All that stuff stays lit up. In my case, with my office, I have it set to one of my monitors. So when that monitor goes to sleep, everything else turns off, and I start saving some substantial money. But if I get lazy and I just leave and I let that monitor stay on, there's no savings. So remember to turn off that control device as often as you can, because that's when you start saving the money. Now don't forget, little changes add up to big savings. So hit that subscribe button so you know when new videos come out, and keep learning new money saving opportunities. Later. Today's going to be terrific.